I was stopped at a traffic light incoming, and I looked to my right, and in the yard of the courthouse were all these little whirly things, and they were so beautiful. And they were stuck in the lawn, and the breeze was blowing, and they were spinning. And then I looked further, and I saw a sign that said each one of them represented a child abuse case in Forsyth County. And they weren't so beautiful anymore. And I was overwhelmed with how many of them were there. So I went about my day, and when I got home that night and I walked into my house, and I was safe, and I was well fed, and I was in a really nice place that was clean. I just knew I couldn't just sit there like that, knowing that all these kids were out there being abused. And so that's when I decided that I needed to do something.
When I was in foster care, like, I didn't want to do anything that anybody else told me, because I'm like, you took me from my parents, why should I do what you tell me to do? That's like, that was my mindset, but like, with other kids, their mindset may be around that area.
You know, it was eye-opening to me, the way, the lives that some children have. You know, even though I read, I really had no perception of what life was like for some children, and the issues that they face at such a young age, and that was, the things that they need are so much more, they're so much harder to provide, but very meaningful.
I was pretty amazed that with a little bit of time, and that's really the program. When I took the training for it, they said you work for 30 minutes a day with a child, same child, and you work with them year in and year out. As long as they're in the district, you stay with them. And it's 1 day a week. So for just 30 minutes a week of your time, you're having this impact on a child. And it was very strange for me. I actually asked in the class, I said, how can 30 minutes make a difference? And they said, it's not the time so much, it's the commitment and being there on a regular basis. It's the continuity of a role model, whether it be male or female, in the child's life that really had the impact.
I think that I've met people in my life that I've only known a day that have had a great impact on me, or people I've never met but heard of. And they have such a huge impact in my life, different quotes or stories I'll hear. But those that I know that are in my life and that I constantly see, I grow to appreciate them more and more every single day, and the impact that they have on the person that I want to be and what I want to do and what I want to pursue becomes so much of who I am. So I see the reflection of those that have helped kind of sculpt me into the young woman that I am now.
I don't trust very easily. After my mom died, lots of my mom's friends, I don't really know why they didn't stick around, but my guess is because they loved my mom so much, and everybody tells me that I am exactly like my mom and I look exactly like her. Miss Jones stuck around, I think, because she knew that we needed somebody to like open up to and to talk to and to go places with. She means a lot to me because she's stuck around, and there's not many people that are still around.
Part of building that trust is being there when they're trying to push you away, that you don't have shock all over your face when they are, telling you the details of what they've experienced in life. And trust to them is, okay, this person has been around, they persevered through all of what I've tried to tell them to scare them away, to push them away, and as an adult in their life, once you have gained that trust, is to not be another adult that lets them down.
Every person approaches another person differently. And within the confines of the child's home, they are treated the way they're treated. when they're outside dealing with other adults who don't have any preconceived notions or biases or whatever, I think they tend to accept them more for who they are because they haven't known them their whole lives. So they're not held into this mold, maybe. Quite oftentimes it's easier to talk to a stranger than to that person that you're going to have to look at again tomorrow morning. And what I said to them today, is that going to come back and haunt me when I'm eating cereal tomorrow morning, you know, in the household? So I think it's an important outlet, and I think it's just that affirmation for the child.
The difference for me having someone in my life that's important is there's always someone else to go to. Like sometimes you can't tell your parents things, or like even your brother and sister, you just can't talk to them about that kind of stuff. So if you have someone else, it's much easier, and I can go talk to her about anything.
Corporate life was very, very different. Corporate life, I had it was almost self-centered. There was a lot of rewarding aspects of being in corporate life from the technology end and from the monetary end. But from a dealing with people and getting the rewards for personal rewards and things like that, I find education is so much better because I do get to make those connections with the kids. I only have one kid personally, biologically, but I look around and that's not the truth anymore. Now that I'm in education, I have hundreds of kids now, and it's an amazing transformation because I do have that bond with a lot of different kids.
If I were to tell a group of adults one thing, I would say do it. That's it. And I could expound upon that, but I think that the answer is simple, that there are tons of opportunities to serve, and the blessings that can come from serving are huge, and the friendships you can grow even with somebody besides your own age is awesome. I have good friends that are well beyond my age, and I think the same is true for adults, that you can cultivate amazing friendships with youth.
Really, I mean, children are our next generation, right? They're the next time leaders. They're who we will be. They'll be us in 20 or 30 years. And so by showing them that adults can take a role, maybe they'll be more likely to do it, because we always need volunteers. And I would think a little bit of the impact they've had might lead them towards trying to also make an impact.
I could see myself helping kids and volunteering to do that. Well, it would be important to me because I know people helped me when I needed it, so I feel that I should help other people when they need it.
Well, I would like to tell you that I have made earth-shattering impacts. I'm not so sure that that's always true. I know so much that I didn't know, not necessarily good things that are going on in our world. But I heard someone say that no one can do everything, but everyone must do something. And I think that's so true. And it's really interesting because I don't have children, and I've never worked with children before. So to get involved with children at this level was baptism by drowning for me. But it has been something that I have joked and said, as long as I have a mind to know what I'm doing, I'll do this work.